What's going on, everyone? So, you may have read in the comments at some point, if you saw the video on this one, and basically killed itself right after that video. So, I wish I could say there was an error code I could get off of it, but it's doing something I've never seen a 360 do before. And yeah, you could press the power on the controller, it'll turn on. It won't boot, it won't do the turn on sequence, it won't flash any red lights, it'll just sit there for 5-10 seconds and then just connect to the controller. No video output, nothing. Well, obviously I'm going to tear it apart. I'm like 100% sure it's not like a heatsink problem or something. It was a super old, never opened before Xenon that was probably sitting for so long. It seemed to work great for a little while. Finally went and replaced the caps. Again, was working as we saw in the video. And then just, yeah, offed itself right at the end there. I already kind of plan on not trying to troubleshoot this board to work into this shell. I like the shell a lot. The accents, I like the way it came together. Awesome. I'm probably just going to cut the back of the shell to fit the Falcon motherboard with the HDMI. Before we do that, we've got another client build here that we're going to open up. And before we do that, we're going to have to throw all this in the garbage, get it all cleared off, nice fresh start. Now, we're going to have to clean this. So, here we go. Okay, I thought it would just do it automatically. Let's start here, I guess. Okay, everything's clean. Just trust me. Just don't worry about it. Stop asking about it. Let's go ahead and find out what's in this box. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be a Taco Bell edition Xbox One X, but we have a Xenon 2006. We'll get into why we specifically have this one here in a little bit, but for now, let's test it out and tear it open, see how bad it is. If I remember right, I think it was functional, but the disk drive, and it might have had some other issues, so let's plug it in and find out. Okay, so real quick, we'll see if it does it again. I decided to plug this one in real quick, and I did finally actually get an error code, at least this time, instead of it just doing absolutely nothing except green and then connecting to a controller. So we actually have the error code now. 0, 1, 1, 0. Just bad GPU, just like all the other Xenon. I've already modified this a little bit, put a different faceplate on there so we actually have a power button. And I haven't plugged it in yet. I don't know why. Okay, we've got it hooked up to component. I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure one of the two doesn't work on this TV, so I guess we're about to find out. Oh, sweet. I could already hear the fan starting to go up, and I don't even want to get into that. So let's just open it up first and check out thermal paste and stuff like that. Inside, pretty dirty. Definitely probably just going to use a different bottom piece when we paint this. I should mention that's kind of the main thing we're doing with this is a custom paint job. There's one peg left on here. So I think we'll just use a different one. Now I'm hoping we can already see a big part of the problem, which is why it was ramping up there. Yeah, it's not clean. That's why we're here. Alright, I was expecting big clumps everywhere. It is pretty dirty, but definitely not the worst one we've seen. Kind of fooled us with how packed the vents were on that one side. Yes. Now, this is weird. This is a Philips and Lite-On DVD drive in a Xenon. Alright, got it apart a little bit further. Got a set of thermal pads there. Actually been a while since I had a system with one of those. Definitely a good amount of dust in here. Same with this side. Nothing too crazy though. I don't see any weird gunk spilled on here or anything like that. The bottom, I'm sure it's going to look bad on camera, but I thought it actually looked fantastic, minus obviously the dust where the vents are. Otherwise, everything looks really good. I did panic a little bit about the disk drive and just kind of let them know, like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is the right disk drive. If not, you know, the best we could do is make a DVD player here. But I guess there is a possibility this has obviously been opened before, and to be honest, I feel like, at least when it was in use, someone was taking care of this. So hopefully, although very rare, I think some Xenons might have had a light-on drive, but I don't think there was a whole lot of overlap there. Go ahead and grab a different fan tunnel. Save the cleaning for this and the fan as well. I know I've got some clean ones already. We'll have to pop this open, clean it out, and let's go ahead and take our heat sinks off. Alright, and that is why the fans were ramping up pretty quickly. Taking the X-clamps off, these things still didn't budge at all. That's usually a sign of very old, or in this case, pretty much no thermal paste at all. But that does give me more confidence that we have a solid board here, because it was still working. I think with some new thermal paste, a nice cleanup, this thing should be pretty solid. Assuming this is the right drive here, light-on drive, great. 2 copper heat sinks, great. We've even got thermal pads there. Got a nice recipe here for a solid working system. Alright, so far all we did was basically brush everything off, and I was a little worried at the color of the dust. It was pretty dark, usually indicates kind of smoke maybe or something like that that makes it stickier, but it came off pretty good. A couple little spots we'll have to get with the isopropyl while we're doing our chips here. Just did the top of the CPU chip, it looks pretty good. GPU is a little concerning. Definitely a glaze of something on there, but it looks like, I'm assuming it was ran a little bit with, besides what I did earlier with the thermal paste in this state. We'll have to get these cleaned off, otherwise, everything cleaned off pretty good without even using isopropyl yet. So we're going to do that, finish cleaning it up, get some new thermal paste on, get the heat sinks on. I forgot to show the inside of this. It was pretty aggressive. Pretty normal for all the other light-on drives that I have. But we got that cleaned off. Hopefully enough to at least test, make sure that is the correct one. This doesn't sound good at all. It's like not even trying. It's not budging at all. Sounds like that motor might be just going out or something. Because it's not even trying to budge. But anyway, fans have not changed RPM at all. Sounds good. Cool air coming out the back still. Loaded up just fine. So we still need to mess with this disk drive. All I did this time was open the disk drive, put a game in there, put it back together so it can bypass the opening and closing and just see if it will load up. That's a lot of noises. Oh, it does say play game. So that part works. Otherwise it sounds like a laser cannon and it still won't open or close. Okay. Oh, whoa. Oh, Xboxes. Alright, new belt. I think that did the trick. So as I said, this one's here for a custom paint job. We are also doing a fan upgrade. Similar to the Optimus Prime, we put the two 60mm Noctua fans, but on this one we're going to go with noise blockers instead, which should be pretty much exactly the same. Dead silent, great airflow, put them on 12 volts, but the noise blockers have the UV blue fan blades on there, so we'll probably throw a couple UV LEDs back there. Otherwise, we're not doing a window, just full paint job. So I'm going to get this thing tore back apart, get it all prepped for paint. In the next video on this, we're going to go over all of our paint scheme, and we should still have a couple cool little details we're going to throw in there. Alright, let's rip the crappy xenon board out of this one. Boy, am I jealous of that one. That one is really nice. I don't know if I mentioned the caps on that one. I'm sure you've seen it in some of the clips. Man, they look brand new, and I don't think they have been swapped out, but I guess they could have been. Anyway, let's get this crappy xenon out of here, and hopefully the rain holds off so I can get out and trim this piece here so we can accommodate the HDMI system. So we'll be putting that RGH3 Falcon inside of here. And I'm obviously still keeping all of these parts. We're just taking the board out of here. We can just put a different board in here at some point. So let's see if we can do this all today, hopefully. And since I'm not the biggest fan of BenQ drives, and that one's already still having issues, we're going to do a DVD delete as well, and just have a CPU heatsink on the GPU, make a custom fan tunnel, and obviously leave the Talus Moon fans. Still want this to really be the only thing I cut on this shell. This acrylic piece cut out here, kind of a teal color, and compared to the main greenish color on the shell, it blends in pretty darn well. So yeah, I need to sand this just a hair more. It's a little too snug, and then we'll get this in place. I also decided against the dual heat sinks, and we're going to do more like Barricade and put this one in here. This is actually a 120. This one's also dead silent. We're just going to easily kind of mount this one off the side here with some L brackets. Okay, we've got our fan installed here. It's just kind of hovering slightly above the heatsink with some L brackets on the side. There's already some anti-vibration on this. This is a Pevia fan that I've had for a long time. Just kind of been in storage. And then we've got our 3-pin connector on our DVD drive cable. We've got our looped second and third pin on the right side, so that it thinks there's still a DVD drive in there. I did leave the 5-volt wires on here, and I'm glad I did. Oh boy. Okay, that was stressful. I think we're going to add one more LED there because we already kind of have a hole drilled right here, and I didn't plan on putting an eject button, but you're probably just going to see that ugly random hole right there. So I think we will put a fake eject button on there, and I think I have the white one that already has kind of the side cut out, and we'll just kind of put the LED straight this way. You'll get a little bit of the effect on there. And then there's a splitter on the 3-pin. The other side of the 3-pin besides the fan is 4 UV LEDs that I just kind of have one facing this way, one kind of in the middle, a couple on the back side, and that's just to help with the glow-in-the-dark paint we've got inside here. So that should charge it up. Okay, time to put our bottom panel on, and this will be obviously an all digital and HDMI only. As you can see here, we've got the bottom cut out for the HDMI, and I just didn't cut this side out. I would strongly prefer not to cut that much farther into this one. Obviously this one's already in kind of rough shape, even though it does still hold together fine. But yeah, also when doing this, it did start to kind of, roll back a little in some spots. So I'm just worried that that might mess that up over here. Now this one I will include an HDMI, and if someone upon purchase does say, I don't care, I want that cut out, I will do it, and I will do my best. It's very difficult to make these look clean just because of all of the, just the shape here. It's going along the curve and all these little, step downs along the way there. But yeah, so unless somebody has a huge problem with that, I think that that's going to be fine. And I like keeping this much structure because really you can barely even see the port here, so you have to cut pretty far up, and it has to fit that little plastic bezel that's around the plug, so you have to really cut a lot there. Alright, we got this on here. This still clicks, which does absolutely nothing. Top and bottom vents. We are going to use the Jawbreaker ones that we put on the Eyeball 360 recently. It's just a random name. I thought it sounded fitting. I have no idea what it means. But we're going to name this one Blue Dream. Don't know what that is, never had it. It's probably pretty good. Now we are finally still going to try to use the 256 gigabyte flash drive down here for main storage, and we'll leave nothing up here so you can still add, you know, if you already have a loaded hard drive or something. And then I will probably still include the Ruby Red here. It might not fully tie in, I guess, a little bit with the random colors up here. We've got the hard drive from Barricade in here right now because I don't have the flash drive set up. And I did put the white Ring of Light board in there. And yeah, that thing is just silent. Got the UV LEDs. And I will plan to just transfer everything that's basically on these two onto the flash drive for this one. Alright. It's kind of bright in here. So I've got to get a controller together. We did sort of make one. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit. There it is with the Ruby Red top piece there. Nice little bonus. And I need to get that flash drive set up, and then we'll be ready to do a little temperature test and get it listed alongside Bumblebee and Barricade, assuming they are still available. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Please do not like, comment, or subscribe. See you in the next video.